Absolutely.
I think we've sufficiently talked about TCW enough for this show.
I think so. Let's drop it down a little bit into some terrible breaking news that's going on over in the Philippines right now.
Yeah, a little bit. Nick brought this to my attention. I hadn't heard a thing about it, but so you kind of got the down low on this, sir. So you fire away.
Apparently, there's a typhoon that's hit the Philippines right now, or it did. Not sure what they're calling it. Is that Haiyan or Haiyan or?
That's Typhoon. I would pronounce it Haiyan. It's Haiyan.
Haiyan? Okay.
I would call it Haiyan. Haiyan or Haiyan.
Okay.
Maybe Haiyan. Anyways, go ahead.
When I was watching the Weather Channel, they said this hurricane was one of the most powerful ones that they've seen. The wind in some places went up to 275 miles per hour.
Ooh, Jesus.
And at one point, they said that it hit 400, which I can't even imagine.
No, that is nuts.
Yeah.
Like that's like 400 miles an hour. It's something I can't even contemplate. Like take the average speed that a fucking NASCAR a NASCAR driver would drive on like their fastest tracks and double it. And like that to me is crazy.
That is crazy. Now they're on the Weather Channel. They estimated or they reported 100 dead because of this. But I'm just reading a.
I think it's a CBC article, isn't it?
Yeah, a CBC article here, and they estimate deaths could top up to 1,200, which is not good at all.
No.
Not good at all.
Cody just put here in the chat stream, 400 miles an hour, you wouldn't even know what was happening. And that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, at 400 miles an hour, a little piece of wood or like an acorn would be a fucking death sentence.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you catch that in 400 miles an hour and that hits you in the head, you're dead.
Oh, definitely.
You're just fucking dead. And that's exactly. You wouldn't even know what was happening. It would just be insane. Like, I mean, well, you and I both lived directly through Hurricane Juan, and that was like a quarter of what this is saying it could have been. Like, that's just, oh God, I can't even imagine.
Right.
So everyone that's in the Philippines, I'm sure we don't really have any Philippine podcast listeners, but for everybody in the Philippines, please stay safe and whatever steps you can take to being safe in the face of a 400 mile an hour fucking hurricane.
Wow.
But whatever you can do to stay safe, please do so, and hopefully those numbers are overestimates of people who lost their lives in that. But that's scary. Like that's just scary shit. And we were kind of talking before the podcast. It's like, does it feel to anybody else like it's like Mother Nature just like sending us a bill? Like when these things happen, like Hurricane Katrina and the earthquake in Haiti, like does it just not feel like Mother Nature is just sending humanity a bill for all the shit that we do against nature? Not specifically to Haitians or Filipinos or to anyone, just to humanity in general. Just Mother Nature just saying, you have fucked with me for so long. Every now and then, I'm just going to show you who's still in charge. And then they just do something like that. I'm sure that's conspiratorial, or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it just seems like sometimes nature can do these crazy, crazy things that you just wonder how exactly they can happen. But
speaking of conspiratorial,
okay.
I saw a really good show on I think it was A&E.
Okay.
About a week ago. Keep in mind November 22nd is coming up also.
Yes.
That's the death of Kennedy.
Right.
Down in Dallas, Texas. And there was a really good show on called JFK Smoking Gun.
Actually, my mother watched that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which had some very compelling evidence and everything in it, from ballistics and everything. A guy pretty much spent years collecting data and going over shit.
Wow.
And anybody who hasn't watched it, I would seriously consider watching it. I know a lot of people won't because it's not their forte.
Right.
But
that is.
But yeah, it's quite interesting. They go over the fact, Oswald's gun was the Full Metal Jacket round.
Right.
And the round that went to Kennedy's head exploded, so that was like incinerator round, where it was a hollow point. Sorry, not incinerator round. Which would shatter and blow the skull off.
Yeah, exactly.
And the follow-up card that had the Secret Service in it had the what type of gun would that be?
MP5?
MP5 or
maybe
MA something.
Okay.
Anyway, it's one of those high-powered weapons that would have those type of rounds in it.
Right.
And by the trajectory that he determined, the round came from that direction.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat to go back and actually look at that type of thing and say, you know what? That actually makes a little bit of sense. And it's actually, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you think about it for sure. Like stuff, and as technology advances and the way that we can determine these kind of things, I'm sure a lot of assassinations and killings and things that we thought we knew exactly what happened, that maybe it'll show that we actually didn't. And as long as technology kind of keeps going in that direction, rather, we may see that more and more in the future.
Apparently, I should also check out Killing Kennedy, new TV movie.
Is that based off the book by Bill O'Reilly? Cody, maybe you can clarify that for me.
Is there a book called Killing Kennedy?
Bill O'Reilly has done a series of 3 books one's called Killing Kennedy, one's called Killing Lincoln, and one's called Killing Jesus. And if you don't know who Bill O'Reilly is a conservative political pundit down in the United States who is just kind of an all-around kind of douchebag sort of thing. Apparently the books are decent, but like I had somebody come up to me in the bookstore the other day and was like, I see Bill O'Reilly's doing all these killing books. I wonder when he's going to do the book Killing Bill O'Reilly. because that'll be a bestseller. And I was like, wow. That escalated quickly.
Yeah, that did.
But I mean, I can understand people not liking Bill O'Reilly because he's a bit of a wank. But Cody, maybe you can verify for us if that's based off the Bill O'Reilly book. Well, we've talked a lot of politics. We've talked a lot of death.
Good. Let's go to something happy and upbeat.
Craigslist?
You've read my mind.
All right, we're going to the Craigslist. Craigslist. Cody just verified that it is based off of the Bill O'Reilly book.
All right.
So let's go to the Craigslist segment. I have 3 ads from Craigslist for you today.
You did not call them articles.
I know I didn't.
Ooh.
I thought about it, and I thought real good and real hard about it.
You've been practicing.
Exactly. I've been practicing. So Nick's going to talk for a second while I bring those up.
You just stepped in the mirror for like 10 minutes before I showed up. You're like, ads.
Ads. Articles, ads. No, damn it, ads.
Ads. Bum ads.
Jesus. Drugs. Which are good, which are bad. Drugs. Ask your mom or ask the guy on the corner.
I'm sure he will say that they're good.
I'm sure he'll say every single one is good.
Oh, yeah.
So the first ad I came up with here for you on Craigslist is going to attempt to answer the age-old question, really, that we've been posing since we started the Craigslist segment.
Right.
Can a real connection be found on CL, on Craigslist? The answer to that question, of course, is no. But let's read the ad anyway.
Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing? My name is Nick. What's your name?
I am wondering if any nice, easygoing, not perverted guys might be browsing Craigslist.
You got two here.
I was going to say, I think we might be the only two, and we're unfortunately probably going to make fun of you. I have tried POF before. POF, of course, standing for Plenty of Fish.
Okay.
And it's awful. I absolutely 100% echo your sentiments there. Plenty of Fish, to me, is garbage.
Have you been on Christian Mingle?
Got to get to the Christian Mingle, those Christian boys that will not fuck you before marriage. Before I take the eHarmony plunge, honestly, eHarmony is where, if you're looking for someone to make a real connection with, eHarmony is where you should have started.
Yeah.
But in any case, before I take the eHarmony plunge, I'm going to give this a shot. All right. I am looking for a serious relationship that may head towards marriage, but of course we have to start somewhere, and I would prefer to take it slow and avoid some of the mistakes I made in the past.
Miss, you're in the wrong place.
So I was going to say, this girl, her head is in the right place, but her keystrokes are not, because the keystrokes are going to Craigslist, which is only guys looking to buy panties.
Right.
Or guys pretending to be girls selling panties. So unfortunately, you're in the wrong place, dear, but I appreciate the genuine nature of your message. So here's what I'm looking for in a guy. Okay. 20 to 30 years old. Ding, ding.
Ding, ding. Barely, but ding still.
Exactly. Working.
Ding.
Ding. It's like a half ding for me.
Yeah.
I work, but not a lot. Has a car. Ding.
Ding.
Womp, womp. That's an X for me. Non-smoker. Ding, ding.
Yeah.
Not big into the bar scene. Ding, ding, I would say. Because you go to a bar, but you're not there like daily.
Right.
So there you go. Intelligent. Wah, 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 wah.
Well, you're kind of intelligent. I'm borderline.
I would call myself...
My words sometimes don't come out right pineapple.
Sometimes my cheeseburgers just don't make sense.
Exactly, and they don't look right sometimes.
Exactly. Seriously, guys. Good conversationalist. I would say ding ding for both of us. Healthy. Ding like a half ding.
I'm not sure if I'm healthy or not. I gotta go get a medical soon from the fire department, so I might get something like really nasty back.
Congratulations, you're actually a woman. No! And kind. Ding, ding. Okay, So we kind of fit the bill for this girl. In terms of looks, I like alternate-looking guys. That's an X for both of us.
Alternate-looking guys.
So like guys like alt-rock kind of people. So that's an X for both of us because we're fairly normal looking.
Yeah.
Rockabilly guys, that's an X for both of us. Hipsters, that's a proud X for both of us, the fact that we're not fucking hipsters. Trendy nerds. I'm not even sure what that means. Like we're into like Doctor Who and shit? Maybe?
Possibly.
All right, well,
I mean, kind of ding for me. I like
well, I mean, we like Star Trek
and Star Trek and video games. Wee, Data, get in here!
The sound of us going "wee" is the sound of Lieutenant Commander Data from Star Trek: The Next Generation riding the Enterprise on those like slow glory shots. I just want to see him just sitting there with like a cowboy hat going. Wee!
Anybody is good with Photoshop.
Yes, for fuck's sake, please do that for us.
Please Photoshop Data on the Enterprise just riding it. And it's just like having big words. Wee! We would lose our minds.
I'm pretty sure that would just be I don't know what I would do. Like I would be so happy I would lose my mind. That would be amazing. So trendy nerds, maybe, kinda, I don't know. Muscle guys, well, neither one of us fit that bill. And blue collar tradesmen. Facial hair, long hair, dreads, tattoos, scruffy piercings. How many blue-collar tradesmen do you see with piercings?
I know.
Very few, unless they're guys that tried to go out to Alberta and get real jobs because they couldn't get other jobs around here where they actually had to be in front of people.
And tradesmen with long hair and
yeah, that's kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Like, do you see a lot of tradesmen like?
No, because I mean, if you're a tradesman, if you're anything around machinery,
yeah,
I mean, long hair,
it doesn't help.
That's not going to help. That's a hazard waiting to happen.
Exactly. I am not really attracted to business types or really skinny guys. Sweet. High five.
Oh.
Come on, high five. God damn it. You know it's.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, but you're not a really skinny guy. She's talking about like stick figure.
Okay.
Really skinny guys.
I'm not that.
You're fine.
Yo.
You're fine. You don't have near the like beer tum tum that you
you
have had before. At times, I still have the tum tum, but it's not as big. And then she ends this ad really, really strangely. White guys only, sorry. So she don't want no colors.
Oh.
Like, we fit it, but that just seems very... She was going along at such a good clip, and then she's just like, white guys only. And it's like, you raise an eyebrow to it.
Yeah.
So, honey, I think your head is in the right place. You're just definitely on the wrong website.
Most definitely.
Can we say that?
We can say that. I think that pretty well sums it up for this ad.
Perfect. Let's move on. Okay, we lost Cody Notting. He had to drop out and told us to have a good weekend. You have a good weekend too, buddy. See you soon. Next ad that we have from Craigslist is called Make My Kinky Fantasy Reality.
Ooh.
Okay.
Kinky.
Nick has said on this podcast before he's kind of a kinky guy. Yes, you have. Matter of fact, you have. I know for a fact you've said that because I remember putting it in one of the descriptions.
Okay. Apparently, I am a kinky guy.
Exactly. You said you're kind of. Kind of.
Okay.
All right. This is a 22-year-old girl, wink, wink, in Halifax. Hi.
Hi again.
Hi again.
Welcome to the show.
But you seem kind of nervous, but it's okay. Don't worry.
Have a seat, cool down. We got some water in the fridge. Tell us about yourself.
Exactly. Okay, this has been my biggest fantasy. All right. I am looking for a man into pegging.
What is pegging?
Pegging is fucking a guy in the ass with a strap on.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I really want to try it. I'm very experienced with a strap on, just never fucked a guy's sweet, tight ass before. Sorry, that made me giggle. And I want to try it. If you're interested in trying, send me and W mail with a pic. Does she want a pic of my sweet, tight ass? Because I can provide that. I mean, you're here, so make the picture taking easier.
Oh. If you're going to ask me to bleach it beforehand, I am not going to.
I'll take care of the bleaching. All you got to do is click the button.
Okay.
Not my button, the button on
You can point it. I'm not going to look. I will physically take the picture, but I am... Yeah.
You know what? For somebody to sit here and say, look, I'm not going to look, but I will take the picture of your sweet tight ass so that you can try to get laid by this girl with a strap on Craigslist. True friend. True friend right there. He doesn't want to be a part of it, but he's going to take the picture because it's his buddy. And that's what matters. So true friend right there. Oh, okay. Well, This one's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? It's definitely a kink. It's definitely a kink, and I wish this girl the best of luck, but she will not be hearing from either one of us.
No.
Yeesh. Rodney might be interested. No. Rodney just said hilarious and disturbing at the same time, and then you know what? That's pretty much You know what? That could be the tagline for this podcast. Not just this episode, but the whole podcast.
Pretty much.
The whole run of our podcast. Hilarious and disturbing at the same time. I would gladly accept that as a badge of honor for this podcast. Nick, as you know, or you probably know anyways, HalCon is going on right now.
Yes.
Yes. The HalCon, of course, being the Halifax Sci-Fi and Fantasy Convention.
Which I actually wanted to go this year, but I had no money to.
No, fair enough.
I wanted to go to actually Saturday's event, which is today.
Yeah, yes, fair enough.
Because the guy who did undergrads is going to be there.
Yes, there was an undergrads panel that was going on this afternoon, which would have been fucking awesome to be at because we're both huge undergrads fans.
Yeah.
And there's still that real active petition online to get undergrads brought back, which I think would be great. Even if you did it as like a web series. Like, don't even get a television deal. Just get your animators to work for dirt cheap and just make it a web series. But in any case, so HalCon's going on right now, and a big part of HalCon is cosplay.
Right.
Is people dressing up as their favorite sci-fi characters.
Yeah.
Huge part of any sci-fi convention. Cut to this person's Craigslist ad. Entitled Odd Requests. This is a 20-year-old girl, wink, wink, in Fairview.
Odd requests.
Yes.
Well,
she has odd requests.
Isn't anything on Craigslist going to be
pretty
a
much
little bit odd?
Everything on Craigslist is an odd request. It's like, I need a plumber, but one that I'm allowed to peg in the ass. It's like, I don't think I need the money that badly. But yeah, so this is odd requests. And here's the ad. As one can most likely deduce from the title of this ad, I have an odd request.
No, really?
You know what? If someone can't deduce that, I don't think you want to meet them. I'm a bigger girl, size 18. Well, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm currently looking to just fuck. Simple as that may seem, this is where the odd request comes in. Okay, so she wants to fuck. She's a big girl. She wants to fuck. That's fine. I've fucked big girls before. Sometimes it can be more fun. I'm a bigger girl, and I'm currently just looking to fuck. I'm also a bit of a geek. Okay.
Yeah.
I like role-playing and cosplaying, and would very much like to try and combine that with my sex life. I have pretty odd fandoms and pretty obscure costumes already made, but if you feel like you may be able to help me out, let me know. Reply with the title Cosplay and a list of the fandoms you're in to get the conversation going. So this girl is a horny bigger girl, just wants to bang, but really wants to bang her favorite fandom characters. Or dress up like your favorite fandom characters so that you can then bang them.
That's interesting.
It's interesting, you know, and sometime, what I would love to do, like kind of a fantasy episode for this show. We have a mutual friend who is a sex therapist, or a trained sex therapist, Janice Lane.
Yeah.
I would love to get her on the podcast in studio and spend just a whole hour just going through Craigslist ads. Because I would love to pick her brain as a trained sex therapist about stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because this seems to me like role-playing and dressing up in costumes and stuff actually kind of seems like a fairly standard kind of kink or preference or anything like that. Like, normal people like to do that. So
right, absolutely.
She calls this an odd request. I don't really see this as all that odd. It's a little niche because it's like, oh, you know, I want to know what fandoms you're in.
Yeah. So
that's kind of niche, but at the same time,
it's more nerdy than odd.
Absolutely. And that's perfectly fine. We love us some nerds. Whee! So, I mean, we love that shit, right? So this girl considers that kind of odd request. I don't really see it as that. I think this girl just needs to rock what she likes and don't apologize for it. Don't call it odd. It's what you like. Roll with it.
Yeah.
It's not hurting anybody. Fire away.
Absolutely. As a prostitute and lootly.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we really have? Aside from stupid recent news, which we have a couple stupid recent news articles here as well. I kind of wanted to talk just very, very briefly, and this I could get into a long thing about this. No, you know what? Fuck it. Let's save that for another time because I could really get into a long thing, and we're already at like an hour.
Okay.
So we'll leave that for next time. Let's just take a peek here. What might we? We talked about the white poppy movement. The right to privacy in public life. I don't really. I'll say this one thing. A coworker of mine called me last night at work and told me this story about how there was a mother. They went to see Thor, the new Thor movie,
right,
which is now out. They went to see it, and this woman was trying to save the whole back row of seats. Because like people would come up and she'd be like, no, those seats are saved. You can't sit here. Or no, don't sit there. These are all saved. Like trying to save a whole row. And my coworker was like, you can't really do that. Like, I mean, if you're going to have that many seats, arrange something ahead of time.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand saving like one or two.
Right. Oh, I mean, everybody does that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just save a seat just for the sake of having a seat free between you and. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I don't want somebody right up on my big fat childbearing hips. I want a seat. I want a buffer zone. Damn it.
Somebody's knocking on your door.
Oh no! Someone's knocking on my door.
Rap tap tapping.
Rap a tap a tapping. So, like, she's telling me this story, and she's like, well, you can't do that. You can't save a whole row of seats.
Yeah.
And she's like, listen here, my child is autistic and is prone to seizures, and he invited all of his friends to come see this movie. And you can't tell me I can't save all these rah, rah, rah. And it's just like, if you knew this was happening, why would you not save all of these seats?
Yeah.
Or like, why wouldn't you arrange something ahead of time with somebody? So they call one of the theater people to come in, and it's just like, look, this is what this lady's doing, but she can't do this. And the person at the theater was like, went up to her and was like, you can't do this, right? Like it's opening weekend for this movie. You can't not book something ahead of time with us and then try to save a whole row of seats. Like you can't do that.
Right.
And so she's just going on about it. And finally she's like, okay, well, fine, whatever, and blah, blah, blah. So they eventually worked it out. So my coworker sits down to start watching the movie. And all of a sudden she sees someone creeping their phone up over their shoulder, like stealth style, trying to take a picture of her. So she was like, can I help you? Why are you trying to take my picture? And she like put her hand up in front of it or whatever. I was like, why are you trying to take my picture? And the person turns around, and it's actually a girl we went to high school with, who I've had dealings with in the past that have not been the greatest.
Oh, okay.
I won't name drop her because that'll just cause more problems.
Yeah.
But
if you've had trouble with somebody in the past, that means that they're pretty douchey,
and they're still this way. And she turned around and she was just like, I'm gonna take your picture. I was gonna take your picture and I was gonna put it all over Facebook because you are being discriminatory towards this woman and her child that has problems, and people should know about it. And my coworker was like, A, who the fuck are you to make that decision? And B, if you do that, I'm getting the fucking cops involved because that's harassment for one thing.
Yeah.
And the girl was right obnoxious about it with everything and was like, good luck finding my Facebook. But it's a girl that comes into the bookstore all the time. So again, my coworker calls me.
Yeah.
And is like, do you know this girl? You know this girl? And she described her, and I was like, oh yeah, I know exactly who that is, and I know where her Facebook is, and I know where her girlfriend's Facebook is, and I can give you all of that information. So, so it's like, good luck finding me. It took her all of about 15 seconds of talking to me on the phone to figure out who it was and everything. So that just goes to show, like, social media can be used in one way, but it can sure be used in another way as well.
Most definitely.
And it led me to ask, like, what are your rights to privacy in public life. Like, I mean, something like that shouldn't happen, because that's akin to a guy walking around with a cell phone in a bar taking upskirt shots of women. Like, it's not the exact same thing, but it's akin to it.
Right.
It's a picture is being taken for a purpose that either you don't consent to or you don't know about at all. And she was trying to like ninja it over her shoulder, and it's just silly and creepy and just really, really shady shit. And it's just it bugs me that social media has got that kind of power. And we're gonna have another talk about Facebook. We're gonna save it for not the next podcast, because the next podcast will likely be wrestling related, but the next No Holds Barred. I got a little rant for you about Facebook, because I got into an interesting discussion with a couple of people about the purpose of Facebook and social media and all that stuff. So we can get into that conversation next time.
Sounds good.
Is there anything else you would like to toss on there aside from, we'll end it with stupid recent news, but was there anything else on there that you wanted to toss on before we got into that?
No, I think we pretty much hit everything on the head.
Beautiful.
That we wanted to.
So let's get into stupid recent news. We'll end it with some funnies.
Okay. Coming to you live around the world, people doing stupid news and stupid news-related articles. Justin, Nick, yeah.
Exactly.
Listen to it.
So the first, and these I can call articles because they're actually articles. The first article here comes from the Telegraph, which is in the United Kingdom, with the headline, "Clown in Town Leaves Locals Terrified." And the subtitle, "A town has been left spooked by the mysterious appearance of a man dressed in a clown costume." The sinister figure has repeatedly been spotted around Northampton in full attire and makeup, sporting a frizzy red wig and waving at passersby. One woman reported the clown had knocked on her front door and offered to paint her windowsills, despite having no equipment on him.
What? Holy freaking hell.
There have been no explanation for the sudden nocturnal appearances of the man, who bears a striking resemblance to the character Pennywise, as portrayed in the film of Stephen King's horror novel It. So he looks like the clown from It, which is really fucked up. But unlike Pennywise, Northampton's version has set up a Facebook group detailing his exploits.
Oh my god.
So really, he signs off each update with beep beep, the King character's catchphrase. So he's trying to make it so that, like, he's trying to make the killer clown from Stephen King's It into more of a cuddly and childlike creature.
That's something that you cannot do.
I don't think so. I don't really think it's something that's going to work. Just like, it just seems really, really creepy. His arrival has prompted speculation among local residents, who fear he may be up to no good.
You think?
Some have threatened to attack him if they ever see him in the East Midlands town. He is meanwhile taken to social networks to defend himself, saying he just wants to be spotted. He wrote, "Too much hate, not enough love. To prove I'm real to all the lovers and doubters, I'll see you in town today. Keep those eyes peeled. I don't terrorize people, I just want to be spotted. I'm also not on Twitter, as it confuses the heck out of me. However, I might go for a jog around that pond in Abington Park later, as I'm really unfit. See you around. Beep, beep."
Oh, God.
So this clown is either going to murder your children, or he just kind of wants you to notice him. I hope he notices me today.
I hope.
Mr. Clown, I, for one, salute you, because I don't think you're doing anything wrong. But this is just very, very strange. It's a little off kilter, but not necessarily menacing. We'll put it that way.
Weird.
Pretty much. We'll move on to our second article here, which is a Pennsylvania haunted house issues naked challenge.
Haunted house?
Ooh.
Haunted house. So it's Ghostbusters. They're walking around with their equipment. They're just like walking around. All of a sudden,
Exactly.
Priority scan.
Exactly.
And they
Priority
go, what
scan.
the hell? And there's somebody naked.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a ghost. They don't know.
This is happening in Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania. A Pennsylvania Halloween park is challenging visitors to pass through a haunted house in the nude for the Naked and Scared challenge.
Okay, this can be bad.
This sounds like the
Or
rapey haunted house
This could
challenge.
be bad or good.
That's true.
Because if they have one of those dark rooms where everybody's like feeling around
Exactly.
to try and get somewhere,
Exactly.
that can be good or it can turn out horribly wrong.
Exactly. You think you got like a nice pair of boobies and then you realize it's me.
Or testicles.
Or testicles and you realize it's someone you thought was a lady when you first saw them. Then you're like, oh, uh-oh.
Oh, no.
But the Naked and Scared challenge seems like a very strange challenge.
Yeah.
The Shocktoberfest attraction in Sinking Spring said guests can pay $20 after midnight once the park's regular hours have ended to pass through the haunted house for a challenge inspired by the Disney Channel or Discovery Channel's Naked and Afraid reality show. The Disney Channel. Naked Miley Cyrus challenge.
How is that inspired by
I came in like a wrecking ball. Sorry.
How is that inspired by the movie Naked and Scared?
No, it's a Naked and Afraid reality show.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it before. I've
don't
watched an episode, if that.
I have no idea. The park said participants can go either nude or prude, an option to leave one's underwear on during the challenge. Officials said only guests over the age of 18 will be allowed to participate. That's probably good, or else you'd have high school kids fucking in the haunted house. And they will undress in a semi-private pre-show building to keep them out of view of minors and non-participating customers. The park's
There you go.
The park's website said the attraction is not meant to be sexual, and no sexual misconduct, inappropriate, or disrespectful behavior will be tolerated.
Good luck trying to enforce that.
Or, if your haunted house is so scary, what if someone poops? Because then it's just all out up in everyone's business instead of just in the person's pants.
It's true. Oh, my.
That's kind of scary. We're going to get us out of here on this one, and this is one I picked especially for Nick.
Ooh.
Wisconsin man combines all 43 McDonald's sandwiches.
Wait, so he bought one of every sandwich? Or he just bought like 43 sandwiches?
Jesus Christ. This happened in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. A Wisconsin blogger said it cost him $140.33 to purchase one of each sandwich offered at McDonald's and then assemble them into the McEverything.
Oh, God.
That is fucking great.
This is something that I've always wanted to do.
Nick Chipman. He's even named Nick. This was you, wasn't it?
No,
he even wears a hat that looks like your old hat.
it does.
Jesus Christ.
He stole my hat.
This guy stole your whole identity and your idea. The McEverything. Nick Chipman, a blogger for dudefoods.com, said he went to the McDonald's in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, a half hour before the end of breakfast, so he would be able to order all 43 sandwiches made by the fast food chain. He used bamboo skewers to stack them into a creation he dubbed the McEverything. Chipman said his entire bill came to $141.33 because he also ordered a Diet Coke.
Good idea.
Well, you got to get a diet one. You don't want to be a fatty.
I know. If
Jesus
you're
Christ.
ordering one of everything on the menu, might as well throw on a Diet Coke with that.
Aside from keeping the McEverything from toppling over as I was assembling it, I'd say the hardest part of building it was not eating any of the sandwiches until it was complete.
I bet.
I'm a total sucker for McDonald's sandwiches, especially the McGriddles. Chipman said he, unsurprisingly, was not able to eat the McEverything in one sitting.
Really?
There's a fucking shock. With all the leftovers I have got all my breakfasts, lunch, and dinners covered for the next week or so. Ew.
Dude, have you watched Super Size Me?
Oh my God, this guy's going to be
Seriously?
doing the new the new Super Size Me. That is hilarious. That is so funny. One of every and you got to go before breakfast, like just before breakfast ends, because then you're making the lunch stuff, but you can still make the breakfast stuff.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
So to this Nick fellow who stole your identity, I salute you, except for stealing Nick's identity. Give that shit back.
Yeah, I want that shit back.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us for episode number 26 of the No Holds Barred podcast. Tune in next week, which we're likely going to be doing the next episode of Last Fan Standing, talking some wrestling for you. Some interesting stuff going on in the world of wrestling. A couple people got cut from NXT that I'm kind of surprised that happened. So we'll be talking about that, talking about a whole bunch of stuff. TNA potentially being sold. We've got some news on some potential buyers for TNA.
Yep.
All that good stuff. We'll talk about that to you next week. I'm Justin.
And I'm Nick.
And this is No Holds Barred, episode number 26. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.